Okay. So the plan of attack for today is going to be going from here to here. Okay, so over the course of the previous couple of weeks, I think maybe even over the course of the past month, we were trying to get to this point, and if all went well, and if everybody, including myself, did their work, then we should all have an MP3 file today to work on, or an audio file to work on. Yeah, Daru? Okay. It's not well but if you don't have an audio file, if you do have an audio file, then I would like you to pull it out right now and somewhere where it's accessible to you. If you don't have an audio file in an MP3 format to work on, you can download it from right there. I was kind of suspecting that the backup might be needed. So I'll give you a minute or two maybe.
I just don't have one with music.
That's okay. It doesn't have to be music. No.
Because that workshop from last time, I got completely lost. It was just too much stuff.
It was a lot of stuff. Okay. It's good that you started talking about that. I would like to use this opportunity to maybe solicit feedback also from Lolly on the other workshop. Do you agree with Jose Antonio? It was a little bit too much.
I wasn't in here.
No, he was not.
I was in the...
Not for the last one before, but because we also did Audacity one before.
Audacity, I think is easy, but I didn't memorize, or I didn't write. Where can we have where can we have the music for free? What is the name of the platform? You knew my question.
No, that was
from
the class.
Well, my memory is not that great.
How do you know what I'm going to ask?
Oh, I know many things about you, Lily.
I think my problem is that I'm not as these two girls are very savvy when it comes to computers and all that.
So it might take a bit longer for certain things to sink in, to practice.
No, and besides, I thought it was just too specific. Not specific is not the right word.
Too detailed.
No, like
complex.
I don't think I need. Like it was too professional, and I don't know if I need something that professional.
I see. Well, that's fine. Did you?
Especially because it was getting difficult for me to understand the whole thing.
Did you, however, maybe write down the things that you think might be of interest to you? Because not writing all of the commands and all of the functionalities out, because I agree that might be too much for your needs and necessities. But perhaps certain things that selectively you may think, okay, like I will definitely need to know how to cut things, or I will definitely need to know how to input silences into. Did you get a hang of that? No, which is fine. There is a workshop on this platform, right? Lynda.com. No.
No. That's good.
So Lynda is a place online where you have all sorts of tutorials for everything that is software related. So if you want to learn how to use certain programs, you can go to Lynda. Excellent. So Lynda is a paid service owned by LinkedIn. However, as a Columbia affiliate, you can use it for free. To do that, let me go back a step. You sign in with your organization portal, and here you just type in columbia.edu, and it should take you to the uni authentication. Okay, I'll write it down on the board here. Mine is already logged in because I had gone through the process before.
Yeah.
So you go to Linda, and then from here you go to sign in, right?
Yeah.
In, and then choose organization portal.
Yes, and then?
Oregon portal. And then you need to type in domain. Will be Columbia.edu. And as soon as you type that in, it will take you to your uni and password, and you will have full access to Linda. Now, yeah, anytime.
Do we have that for ThinkLink?
I don't know. Do we?
Because now they require us to pay. When I started in
Oh.
ThinkLink, it was for free, and now they want us to pay, and I'm not.
No, that is, again, a very good point that you're making. Even though I generally try to introduce things that are free and that don't require additional payment, every so often these three things become commercial.
Yes, exactly.
And there's nothing I can do about it other than find another free thing that can replace it.
Like Padlet.
Like Padlet, yeah.
By
Although
now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Padlet.
Padlet is way better. Well, I mean, it's good. You can move to it, but yeah, well, I just make the point that if Columbia is paying or not.
Well, Columbia is not going to pay for everything, but so this they're paying for, and this is really good. For here, for the library, in the search book, you just type in Audacity, and you will have this big tutorial that is 2 hours long. That will just.
This is the one, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it goes through all the steps one by one with videos, and there's subtitles too. So, okay.
We like doing that.
But this is something that you can do at home, and this is definitely not something that we will be working with today. Just wanted to bring it to your attention. Okay. Now, is everyone's file in the MP3 format? To find out whether a file is in the MP3 format, you right-click on the file, and then depending on what you're using here, everyone is on the Mac, you go to Get Info, and it should give you a format. No, so this or kind that's IFFFC, so that is not MP3. Do you have your file? Or did you get the file that I posted?
I have it in here.
So I cannot transform it to MP3?
We'll get
No,
to that in a
before.
second. There's a few ways in which you can do that. Daru, do you have a file in MP3?
This one.
I'm through here.
This MP4.
I have all of the students to upload.
So you have an MP3 file.
Yeah, all the students.
Perfect. Jose Antonio does not have an MP3 file, which is okay because there are things that we can use to convert. You can either do it in Audacity, which I can show you how to do after you're done, or a faster way would be through an online audio converter tool. There are many of them. One is onlineaudioconverter.com. Oops, this is not it. I don't know why that loaded. Online. Oops. And there's no right or wrong for these kinds of things. There's a ton of converters on the internet that can be used. Online-audio-converter.com. And it should bring you over to something like this. So from here you go to Open Files, and I don't have a file to convert, it's mine already in MP3. But here you select the, and then you open it, and you see that it is loading right there. And then step number 2 is selecting the format. So we'll choose MP3, and going. Let's bring it to 192. Let's bring it to good, and then convert. download, and you save file to, and it's going to download to your downloads. And so an MP3 version of that file should be sitting in your downloads right now. Yep. You can open it and see, or preview it and see if it plays. Yeah, you have one. Oh yeah, because they're okay. And yeah, MP3 and it's an audio case to recognize it. So that's one way to convert it. Another way to do it would be to drag it into Audacity and then export it as an MP3 file. Yeah. The danger or the slight risk associated with online platforms relates to what Lolly was talking about, in the sense that these things may start as free, and then over time they may start asking you to pay for it. Yeah. So like this one is for free right now. Over time it may or may not remain so. But you know, who knows? No, we can't influence that in any way. Okay.
I'm having a desktop as bad as mine. Yeah, mine too.
So yeah, it's prepared, and we all have the MP3 files, and they're all converted. Yeah. Okay. So let's set up a hosting platform. The platform that I want you to look into, again, there are many, is Podomatic. So you open up a new tab in your browser. The URL is podomatic.com. And so the next thing that we'll do is we will set up an account. So let me again exit. Well, so hold on. You can do it with Facebook for sure. Some people may not want to use Facebook, and then I'm just gonna go here. That's fine. That's okay. Another advantage of signing up with email as opposed to Facebook is that it allows you to keep your school business under one sort of box, separate from your personal Facebook, right? Unless you have a Facebook account for work, in which case you can use that. So sign up with email.
I have to set up an account first.
Well, yeah. So let's go through the process. Well, you sign up first. Yep. And so you just essentially follow the steps here. So are you signing up for this? Okay. Do you mind if we did it together on the stream, or are you already signed up? You're on this stream right now?
I already put.
Okay, so you're at the next step. Yeah?
I didn't.
Okay. You didn't, Lily?
No, because it didn't work.
Oh, okay. Why did it work? Yeah, that should be. Hold on. I'm gonna change sides here, because there's this one thing that I'd like to do.
Doesn't work.
Your email address?
No, because you're doing it the wrong way.
Wow.
Because the email is down. That's name.
Sorry.
He doesn't know what it is.
There is, it's a curse word. There is a similar curse word in Polish. Cholera. I would imagine it's the same way. Depending on the context, so. Okay. We'll do this. No. Okay, 4969.
I'm
So everybody should, there you go. So everybody should see something like this.
So if I do next,
Yes.
So, and it shows you that we're going to go through 3 different steps. We'll set up the podcast, we'll record the first episode, then we'll publish. Do we need to wait?
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, write the password.
with any password, right?
Any password you will remember, you can keep it to. What do you use the model? Hold on. No, I'm already signed up.
I'm ready.
Okay, so everybody's on the same page?
Yes.
Right now, perfect. So there are 3 steps to the process. Literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, we're going to set up the podcast, then record the first episode, which we have already done. Right? So 1 step ahead, and then we will publish the first episode. And now, what is the difference? So, what is the difference? Ask that question. These 3 steps are talking about a podcast and an episode. Do we see the difference between those? Because it will.
Come again?
So these 3 steps talk about 2 things: podcast and an episode. Do we see what is what and how does this different play itself out?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. You are going in a podcast. You have a series of things that you want to do.
Exactly.
So 6 MP3s that you want to.
So by recording a podcast, we are not really recording podcasts, we're recording episodes of a podcast. The podcast is a container. It's like a box where the episodes are put, and it's a box that people can subscribe to. What we'll do now is set up the box first, and then once that is established, that is when we will put in the episode. Okay? So I'm ready. If you guys are ready, let's click on the orange button and follow the steps. So the first thing is podcast title. And I don't know what you want to name it. Anything that you're doing right now could be changed later. Alright, Bahasa Indonesia is Wadaru input. Let me know when you're done with the title.
Give me a minute. Yeah, no, we don't have
Is that the title?
Give me a minute. I like it.
Português para falar de espanhol.
Oh, give me a minute.
Give me a minute. In Spanish. Or the equivalent that United Phrase in Spanish. Okay. So with the title in hand, we hit continue. And then the tagline. And then the tagline is going to be, whatever the prompt is that you want to use to advertise your podcast. So something really short that will tell the audience what this is about.
quickly and with Loli.
Think easily with Loli.
Aprender portugués con José Antonio. We are going to be famous, don't worry.
Yeah.
And that can be in any language.
In any language. Okay.
And there is a description.
Next, okay, so next step would be enter the description. Yeah, you can just put something in. It doesn't. Again, this can be can be changed later. The description is displayed beneath the icon of the podcast in iTunes or Spotify. I mean, you can literally put nonsense out there for now.
This is what I'm doing.
Okay, well, this we're doing this to sort of guide you through the process so that you can replicate it at home on your own. Okay, Jose Antonio, we're done? Let's wait a minute. You're distracting me. What is it?
I have a question. What is
What's the question?
How do I keep the good videos on YouTube with mobile? With high
How do you
quality?
save?
How no? Is there any clip for me to upload videos and to maintain or to have good quality
With your phone?
with my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any advice, because I'm trying to use the biggest definition.
my YouTube profile is actually videos that my students uploaded,
Mhm.
and one good phone is actually, you mean you want to record with your phone, right?
I am doing it, but sometimes the quality is low.
Yeah, probably one phone that they used in the past that could be really good was Samsung 8. But if you have the phone that actually is
It's a
probably
7, isn't it?
published after Samsung 8, then it will be hard.
Yeah, but
I
some
can help you
videos
with
are
it.
good and some videos are not, and I don't know why.
Was Antonio good?
We are there.
Okay, wonderful. So next step, what is next step here? Unless we should all be here perfect. Okay, cover art. I know, we do need a picture. And since this is the next step, I thought that I might as well show you how to go about creating a picture for your podcast, okay? So this is gonna be a next step in the process. No, can I have the remote? Okay, let me switch back to the computer. So, let's go here, and then one platform that you can use to create the cover art, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here, is Canva.
Canva.com.
Canva.com, not Canvas, but Canva.
Again, education profile. Education.
Well, you know, so for here, I've been on this platform ever since it appeared, and then over the time they added all these different sign-in features. If you click on teachers and student, you can, okay, so that's fine. Let's, from the main page, let's hit education, teacher, student, and here you can sign in or sign up with Google.
Yep.
Again, that way, you will be able to sign in with your Columbia email.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, let's start creating beautiful designs. What do you do? Okay, so we have to.
Education. So, quiero hacer, I want to do.
Hold on. Where is this? I think.
Skip. Because my computer is Spanish is very good. Have everything Spanish. And the computer se Luis Carlos se fue. Desde hace un mes que se fue, dejó todo sin.
Okay, I do not remember my login and password, so I'm just gonna set up another one.
Why don't you enter with the Google?
That is what I'm going to do.
Or with my account if you don't have.
Okay, education.
Yeah,
And
here I
there
am.
we go. Perfect. Okay, so everybody should be kind of sort of here maybe.
Yep.
I want to create.
Yep.
Yours is different though.
Yeah, I will see the
Yeah. So let's see what happens when you hit more design types here. Okay, so we
Same.
hit more design, and the very box at the bottom of the page should get this. And then most podcast artwork, it comes or uses the CD cover template. So if you type in CD cover, it should come up with a template right here. Okay, I'm going to close this right here. And I'm going to close this too. And here on the left-hand side, you see that there are a bunch of templates that you can just choose from as the base. And you can modify them however you want. What I will do is, since I am going for a simple podcast, I'll go to a text. and then I will click on maybe this.
The text one.
So there's a text tab right here, which gives you a bunch of different text configurations, and just choose one that you like for your podcast. If you click on it, it should appear in the box. Yeah, there are a ton. And again, Canva is generally free to use. If you want to use more elaborate designs, then you have to pay extra for them. But I think for our needs and purposes, this is perfectly okay. So what I'm going to do right now is, has everyone chosen the text template?
Yes.
Any of them will do for now. Okay, so here I'm going to start modifying it, and it's really easy to do. Essentially, I'm going to sort of, for my case, in the welcome little one, I will type in LRC language podcast, and then at the bottom here I will do with Simon Zuberek. I'll give you a minute to modify the text however you want. You're lost? Up you. You can use something else, yeah, just... You did? Perfect, we can keep it there. I wanted to use this opportunity to introduce folks to a design tool. So not album cover, but CD. That would be the first thing. Okay. The layout is different. So we go to text here, and then whichever one. This one, let's say. It should come up here. And then you can modify it. And then we'll go from there. For now, anything will do. It doesn't have to be super elaborate. It's just sort of to see how to, what's on this platform, how to get there, and then again, just like everything else, you can keep exploring it on your own at home. If you want to have a course on Canva, then there's a Linda tutorial on it too, and then if there's interest, I will do something next semester on Canva as well. Good? Okay. So I will slowly but surely move ahead. Let's say that instead of black, I would like to use, I don't know, like to use purple. And then I want to make this pink. And I would like to make this nice and big. So I'll expand it, and then I would like to maybe make sure that this is positioned correctly, so you will see that as you're moving it, it will indicate where the center, horizontal, and vertical axes.
How did you do that?
You just drag it, and it will show you automatically where the axes are. So you plop it in the middle, the background is white. If I click on it, I can change it to gray. I mean, I like gray, and gray is nice. And so let's say that I'm very happy with this cover right now. And I'm ready to download it. However, I will give you again a minute or two to finish it. Now keep in mind that if you are thinking about artwork or cover for the podcast, or your students are making their own covers for their podcasts, it tends to be the case that less is more, especially considering the fact that a lot of these will then have to be visible on high handheld devices. So if you make it very complex and very visually rich, then some of the details may not be available. Good? Alright, stretch it out. And then if you move it around, you will see how, yep, there you go. It's right in the center. Okay. So, from here on out, I'm gonna download it, okay?
Mhm.
And you see there's a big fat download button in the upper right hand corner.
Mhm.
There's an arrow next to it. I'll click on the arrow. There are a bunch of things that we may not necessarily be interested in, but if you click on download, it will ask you for the type. And there's a bunch to choose from. Luckily, the program also tells you what's what, which is nice. So we like, for our needs and purposes, we would like a PNG file. So we leave it marked, and then we just hit download. And it should be ready. Okay, mine downloaded. I'm gonna put it in the desktop here. Just like everything, yep. And then let's move back to. Let us move back to Automatic. And so to do that, I'm gonna switch back to Daru. Yeah, if you can. And then, so hold on a second. So from this screen, I'm sorry, from this screen right here, we go to Browse. And we choose the file, and it's this file later, right? Okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, so this is the illustration. Let's say, okay, recommended for your image. Okay, so Daru's picture is not going to work because the width must be at least 1,000 pixels and the height must be at least 1,000 pixels. So yours doesn't fit the bill. But for you, those of you who, so we should all have the covers uploaded. Was anyone yet?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. With Daru, I'm just going to skip this step for now. And then the next step is the category. So we need to label it correctly. We'll leave the language, well, our category will be, well, education, right?
Of languages program.
Education, language courses. And then the language here is Indonesian. Country will be United States. Should we do it as US? And then for the city, let's do New York. Why they want you to select the country and the city, I don't know. I suspect it's for statistical purposes. Ooh, okay, I need to refresh that.
Contracts in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then when we're ready with that, we should go to the next step. Where we input the tags. Tags are the little bits of text that you use, or when users take advantage of when looking for your podcast on the web. So whatever it is that they Google for, these phrases should be in the box. So take a second to tag it. I'm not going to be able to help you with this, because I don't know what the podcast is about. Are we skipping it?
I mean, it should be, this should be like some kind of a
So Indonesian podcast, conversation, dialogue, monologue, books, storytelling, Jakarta. Again, this can only be changed. All right. With these filled in, we hit last step to review everything. Uploaded them.
The first time it did, but when I pressed back, it just gone.
And so the last step is sort of for you to make sure that everything is kosher. Yeah. Where's your thing? Okay, good. So if we're done reviewing, we tell the computer so by clicking down and reviewing, and then this is the URL that has been automatically generated, okay, by the software. Now you can change the first bit before the first period. So for Daru, the system generated Daru, whatever, your GSP, that can be done. Okay, what cannot be changed, is the domain podomatic.com. The reason why this will not be changed is because we are using the free version of the software. If we want to have that not visible, we're going to have to pay for it. So for instance, if we want to say, podcast.joseantonio.colombia.com, then this would be an extra service. Okay? But we probably maybe don't need that.
Can we choose the URL after we click complete step?
Yes.
That is a good question.
Yes.
I don't know.
I have tried.
Okay.
You've tried it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So everything can be changed.
You're ahead of us. Okay, so with the URL set up, let's complete the setup. And we should have our podcast box established. Now, this is not the actual audio, this is just the framework. Now, for the next step you will see is record, right? But we don't need to do that. We've already recorded our stuff. So what we will do instead is publish now. Which takes us over to the audio selection page. What? Okay, and this is where we add the files. So let's go here to add files.
This is very difficult. It's good.
Let's test.
I'll let you collaborate. Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute to upload your file, or to add the file. And then once added, it should show in the window right here. Is it showing for everyone? Yeah. Once if it's showing, we hit start uploading. You will see the progress on the right hand side. As soon as you hit start upload, the second step in the process will open up, where it's asking for a title and description. Now, this will be the title, description, and description not of the podcast, but of this episode that you're putting up there. Which is where the difference, this distinction comes into play.
That means every file before we upload it, we have to have a specific name for it, as the title for it.
For the episode. Yeah.
I'm covering this episode.
Only there's a few things I need to tell you before you publish. Okay, you can leave the description empty if you want, or you can put something in there. I'll give you a minute to type, prepare it. Are we done? That's what's happening there. Oh.
Already.
Description. Okay, very good, very good. So we're at the description part. Now, add image. So this is something that I wanted to talk a little bit more about. It is possible to add an image, different image to each episode, in addition to the image for the podcast itself. I would not do that. For consistency's sake, I would just keep the image as it is. That way you are, developing a recognition of sorts. You can, upload the file, or choose the, where's the file? Oh.
I don't know that I should do this.
No, but where's the file for it? Where's the cover file?
Oh.
Yeah.
The same one that we used.
Canva. Canva.
Choose, and then upload.
It's still blue.
That's what you chose?
Okay, nice. So you're gonna have the podcast episode having an image that is different from the podcast itself. That's fine. You can totally do that. Most people don't do it.
I cannot use this. I mean, this is just an example.
Yeah, right. No, this is right. And then, so after uploading the image, the second to last thing to choose is the quality. It gives you the choice between talk and music. Do you have music or talking in your podcast? Or both? Which one do you want? So it gives you
Which one has the highest quality?
music. So music is going to have higher quality. So we choose music in our case, but if you have just conversation, then you choose talk. And then we hit continue. And then when we're done with everything, we hit publish.
Yay!
So it took a while to get there, but you will see, okay, we
No
don't
thanks.
want to upgrade, we hit no thanks. Jose Antonio, in this box right here, no thanks, just publish. Okay, so this episode is publishing. Now, a couple things are happening right now. You will see that this is how many gigabytes of music per month are you allowed to upload with the free account. With the pro account, you can, the limit is much, much higher. I can't really tell you if the free account will be good or not good enough for your class. This is something you're going to have to decide on your own. Another thing that you might want to pay attention to is this link right here. This will be the link to your episode, not the podcast, but the specific episode. So what I will do is I will highlight it, and then copy that, and then maybe open it up in a new tab right here.
So you copy it,
So
I copy it and go for it?
So, hold on a second. So you copy it and then you just open up a new tab. And then paste it in the search box. Not the search box, but in the URL box.
The top one or the
The top
Google
one.
one?
That's all.
So cool.
And this is kind of it. This is how your podcast the podcast episode can already be shared. You will notice also that, and this is a link that you can share with your students, or students can share with you too. Now, this is automatically beamed to iTunes as well. So if you use iTunes to listen to your podcast,
Yes.
you will notice that there is a subscribe on iTunes icon here. If you click on it, it should show this podcast in your iTunes.
So the reason you are using automatic is because it has like
It's easier. Yeah. I mean, it is easier in the sense that it already happens automatically for you. You don't have to choose the different syndication options, which are configurable in different programs, but that requires further steps, and some of them also require payment.
So within Canvas, there is no way to
Canvas. Okay, Canvas.
or Canvas, or media Canvas.
Mm-hmm.
There is another possibility, they don't have a podcast.
No, this is not. There's no
No,
podcasting
no.
tool
No?
in Canvas. No.
So
You can copy and paste the link.
No, but I mean, it should be like
iFrame.
here. You know, a podcast.
No, there's no functionality for podcasting in Canvas yet, or in our Canvas at least. You can, so your Canvas, I think the most popular podcasting tool platform is just the Apple Podcast. So it would be, or iTunes. And with Podomatic, it automatically gets syndicated into these. So if you want to listen to it, or your students want to listen to it, or if you want to listen to it in your iTunes or in the podcast app, you may do so by clicking the iTunes, subscribe on iTunes link right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just to sort of review the other options, you can also listen to podcasts on Spotify, and then Google, I think Play. Another one is Stitcher. And those are the sort of three main ones. Any questions at this point?
No, I just find it great. I love it. I mean, I like the appearance.
Okay, great. This will, let me just show you, this will not, it may take some time for this to appear in iTunes. So if you click on it right after you've created it and the episode is not showing in iTunes, give it some time for it to upload. These things do usually take a while. Okay, just escape.
Yeah. Not yet.
Yeah, it might take a while. Okay. So we have created the first episode. We did talk about how to subscribe it, links to individual episodes, and subscribe via iTunes, so we did cover all that. Rather than starting a podcast. Well. No? Okay. That's fine.
What is talking?
Well,
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
It's a play on the words.
no. It's usually, sometimes when people talk about and that these are, middle-aged people, like, oh, I've been thinking about starting a podcast, right? Starting a blog, right? And stopping a podcast. So it's okay. Yeah, this is everything that I've had for today in regards to how to turn an MP3 into a podcast. I will stick around as usual for a few minutes, or as long as needed to answer questions and to help out. This is all that I have for this week, and then there is no workshops next week, of course, and we'll see each other the weekend. To have the PowerPoint? Yeah.
Yeah, because,
I mean, a lot of it is not going to be on the PowerPoint because we've been
No.
working through.
Yeah, you don't need to adapt it for us. Just that.
Sure.
Just in case one day I change the computer and
Okay. It's also going to be on YouTube eventually. Yeah, they're all on YouTube, so you can beep it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys,
Guys, thank you.